Frank had a few tins of cream corn, and that's how we were burling in the carp. Anyway, so cream corn, it's all sloppy and mashy inside the tin. And I said to Frank, I said, "You just want me to throw it out?" He's like, "Yeah, just do like a semicircle, just throw it out there." I was like, "Yeah, no dramas." So Frank's on the phone with his mate Nigel there, and
Rob
he
knows where this is going.
oh yeah. He was having a good old yarn, and then I was like, "All right, 180. Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, mate, just fucking get it out there." I was like, "All right, no worries." So I've taken the lid off this can of cream corn, and I have absolutely swung this thing around like discus in the gold medal Olympics, and all you hear is splat, and it wasn't in the water. I look over, Frank's got cream corn dangling off his fucking glasses. It's all over his shirt, and all you hear him say, "You're an idiot."
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt, where we talk about hunting, shooting, fishing, camping, and everything else that the great outdoors has to offer. Let's get into it. All right, the man. He's finally here. We've been waiting on him. It's the Frank.
Hey, it's Franco.
Cue the music, Matt. The soundtrack, where is it? Oh, he's changed hats.
Is that the one Frodo won?
No, Frodo's one's on its way, I believe. Is that right?
I don't know.
Was it for the first buck or biggest buck in camp?
Well, he got both.
Oh, there you go. Well, you got 2 prizes, not 1. That's awesome.
Yeah, he got both. That's why I called him Fantastic Frodo. I did hear you're a little upset at the episode title, Fantastic Frodo Flogs Frank. So here's the public apology. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
No, not upset. More, what's the word for it?
Devastated?
It's never been, I suppose it's never been me versus Frodo. It's always been me with Frodo.
So you're happy for him?
So I've always been happy for him. I don't understand where it comes I was upset for. I don't know why.
I believe it was when you turned off the FaceTime.
Congratulations, Frodo, on your big buck. I'm so glad you got it. Mate, I'm very proud of you. Well done for not listening to Matt and walking into the bush and getting your own deer. Good job, mate. Good job. Appreciate that. Followed him around for 3 days straight. Couldn't get anything. Walking by yourself and bang, short 100 metres. Good job. Good job, matey. Good job listening to your own gut. Good man.
Can I ask Frodo, my man,
Hey?
what have you done with your buck? Are you Euro mounted it?
He gave away all the meat. He's starving, poor family.
No, I've still got plenty of meat. Yeah, Euro mountain it. So
Just full skull or skull cap?
No, full skull. So boiled it, got all the stuff off it, and then I tried the peroxide thing. So my mate who does a bit of taxidermy on the side told me what to do. Didn't really come out that good, so I tried it a few times. Then he said try it again, put the hairdryer on it, heat it up. Like the heat generally gets it to like activate a bit better, but it didn't really get a good outcome. So I just sprayed the skull white, and looks heaps better.
Oh, fair enough. Did you with the peroxide? Were you painting that directly onto the bone, or were you doing it in a water mixture?
No, painting it on, wrapping it in Glad wrap.
Yeah, that's how I normally do it.
And it just didn't. I don't know. I followed his instructions to the T, and it just wasn't coming out like he told me it would.
So it was stained as such, like
yeah, it wasn't.
Not
didn't look real pretty.
Not going nice and white.
Yeah.
Did you use like detergent with your simmer when you boiled the skull? I shouldn't say that. That's why I say simmer, not boil, because you shouldn't boil them. But did you use a bit of detergent?
Yeah, a little bit of. He said just put a little bit of dishwashing liquid in there. So I don't know, maybe just probably a squirt of it, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, because the big problem is the fats in the brain is what stains the skull. So, like before you boil, you should sort of try and get as much out as you can. You can get like a bit of like fence and wire and put it in your drill with a bit of a hook on it and put that in there and just mush it up, give it a bit of a lobotomy.
Yeah.
And try and wash that out. And you want to try and get as much of the brain out before you even boil. And then when you do, that bit of dishwashing liquid cuts the fats down as well.
Yeah.
So sounds like you may have still had a bit of fat in that water that sort of stained it. But anyway, she's painted
Yeah.
now, all good.
Yeah, no, come out good. So I gave it another coat today, and I'll hang it up tomorrow. So I'll put a photo up on the group chat.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that.
So firstly, two things there. One, I don't think the deer had a brain, the way he shot it and its reaction during the whole process. And two, has anyone tried Trophy Lock, I think it is? The same guys that make Velvelock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. No, I've never used it, but I didn't know that they made one for... I've heard of their Velvet Lock, but I didn't know they made one for doing Euro mounts on the skull.
Hey, listen, I think congratulations is in order for Frank. I hear he's a grandfather now. He's a grandfather to 10 seeing eye dogs that Jones come alive with. Is that right, Frankie?
That's right, mate. Yeah, got 10 pups on the ground, so she's doing well.
Guide Dogs Australia have already put their application in for those dogs, I hear.
That's it. All sold.
I've got one of them. Spoiler
Have
alert.
you?
Yep. Got one coming.
What did you get? Did you get a boy or a girl, Rob?
Got a girl.
Actually, Frank, how many boys and girls did she have?
She had 3 girls and 7 boys.
Didn't you name one of them Photo for a certain reason there, Frankie?
Yeah, he's the smallest one, and he likes the boob.
That's accurate.
So his nickname is Frodo.
Sounds like
Riley
a good
named, I think.
That's funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
So, did you have a bit of FOMO, Frank, that you weren't at Croak Camp? Because, we haven't had you on here to be able to defend yourself, but there was, I wouldn't say there was any sledging at camp, James, there's a lot of respect spoken about him, but I don't know, there's a bit of sledging being, held back, but just why you're here to defend yourself. Is there any reason as to why you didn't want to hang out with the commoners, or?
Well, I booked in with the other. I went to the hunt camp. I booked into that, and
The superior one?
yeah, the superior one, exactly right. The superior camp. I couldn't do back to back, unfortunately. I would have loved to have done back to back, but I think in hindsight, it's probably a good thing I didn't, because it seems like you guys learned a whole lot of new skills. So very proud of Frodo for finally gutting out his first deer. Well done, Frodo. You've done well there, mate. Usually it's something I would do for you. And well done, Matt, on carrying a buck out. That would have been really good for you too. Would have been a good experience.
Well, you weren't there to do it, Franco, so I had to get someone else to do it this time.
Yeah, no, all good, mate. I'm as I said to you, I'm happy to carry out all your deers, mate. That was good. That was good. No, it's good to see you with the gloves on and getting into
Well,
it.
mate,
So
hopefully soon I can carry one out for you. It'd be pretty funny, but it's worth a try.
I'll slip you inside of it and I'll carry it out.
Knowing my luck, I'll say to Frank, yeah, I'll carry out the deer you shoot, and he'll probably shoot a f***ing sandbar, and then he'll be like, carry this out.
So when you said gutting, was it a knife? Because you were shaking that much, it actually looked like a reciprocating saw.
Well, that was just adrenaline. So, yeah, that was adrenaline. The whole time, even trying to gut him, I was still thinking to myself, I can't believe...
Before you even started gutting him, you need to go back to when you were trying to put that first set of gloves on. It was like a kid with his first franger. You broke through the first set. Had to borrow Matt's gloves.
It's just the fat sausage fingers, mate. That's all that is.
Anthony's got a real short, stumpy hand with fat sausage fingers. It's very hard.
We have that problem, you, me, and Frank.
Yeah, that's right. Needs the extra large finger span with the small sized palm. That's what he needs.
Yeah, that's right.
I will say that I was very thankful you weren't gutting the deer in Victoria, because even though you were using the small Havlon blade in your hand, it looked like a machete, and I think they're banned there now.
Wasn't it a Stanley knife he had on him?
It was the sharpest machete I've ever seen. No, you know what? The whole time, when you said to me, this thing is like razor sharp, and the minute I cut in, straight away I was thinking to myself, I wasn't actually really even concentrating on what I was doing. I was just concentrating on watching where that blade was, because I'm like, I do not want to cut myself open.
If it was still up to you, we'd still be trudging around the forest looking for that thing.
Hang on a minute. Sorry, how many deer did you shoot? I'm just wondering.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
The fact is, we had to go through all the turmoil that we did to get you to where you were, all right? We had to go through 3 days of pain and just being broken to the core. You know what? We even forgot we even forgot when we were speaking about. Matt took us down, the Frank trails, and then we seen that huge buck which we couldn't shoot. But what actually, was the last knife in the heart was when we were driving out to go back to camp before you went back out later that night and shot your buck. We seen that bloke dragging that big deer out of the forest. Like, what a kick in the guts that was.
Yeah, that was pretty funny because he dropped it too, and then sort of fuddled around the car, you could sort of tell it was like, I hope they didn't see me. But we could see that it was a deer.
So, Frankie, Superior Camp, how did you go up there in Nundle?
Oh, they don't want to know. They don't want to know how I went. I'm sure they'll know how I went.
So Frank kept getting stabbed with being the camp chef. Have you guys seen the photo of the contraption he made?
No.
Imagine Jesus on the cross, but a fallow and laying down over some coals
Oh, no, I
on a
did see
30-degree
that.
angle.
Cool.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, we did 3 of those.
And I was lucky enough to turn up right as the first one was finished. Had some nice fallow ribs.
Nice.
Finn loved him. Finn filled his guts up, didn't he? He loved it.
Yeah, Finn's a carnivore. He was...
Yeah, good on him. Good boy. No, he's good.
Well, that's so good to hear.
Yeah, he was good. He stood there next to me and he had the big chopping board next to him. And I was filling it up full of meat and then realised what he was doing was he was eating every time I put a piece on the cutting board. He was eating every second piece. So I thought I had a big pile of meat and I turned around and Finn's there just chewing his mouth looked like a squirrel just full of meat there. You right, Finn? Oh, yeah, it's really good. That's good. Do you want to share the rest with the boys? Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. I said, come back. It's heaps more, mate. It's heaps more. Come back.
Shout out to Dave. We had our own personal chef, Dave. He did bloody well. I've never seen it before.
How good is that ham?
He made that deer ham and he had deer pate. I felt like we were in a 5-star restaurant again.
Deer pate. That sounds pretty bloody good.
I think the day we were leaving, he was making some peanut satay skewers, venison skewers.
That sounds good. Did you cook your venison, Frodo?
Yes, mate. Yeah, we cooked some the other night and it was a success. So the kids loved it.
That's good. The kids loved it.
Yeah, so they've set the bar now. I'll have to try and get one every time we go out, I think. Either that or just shoot the ones that turn up in the paddock at home.
Oh, you could do that too. Don't have to travel.
Oh, but the travelling's half the fun. It's getting away with you boys.
Does anyone dry age?
I'll wet age, Rob. I don't dry age. I'll wet age.
I did dry aging for both the deer I got this time, and I won't do it again. I'll go back to wet aging because you just lose so much meat.
What, because you got to cut off the dry parts?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Are you supposed to?
It is advisable.
That second one I shot, it was in the fridge. I just had it in the cotton bags for probably about 72 hours before I got home. Before I vac sealed it all up and put it in the freezer.
Was the outside hard?
No, it wasn't hard, but it was definitely like dry on the edges. And I don't know. It smelled all right.
Mine definitely went firm and hard.
Oh, yeah. Nah, mine wasn't that bad. But generally, yeah, I've just been vac sealing it and leaving it in the freezer for about 6 weeks before I cook it.
Why is that? Why 6 weeks in the freezer?
I don't know. It's just what I heard. Just to leave it for a while before you get it out.
I'll get the meat and I'll leave it inside the cooler for about 7 to 10 days in the plastic bags, and that way it just gets all that protein out of it, and then I will cut it up and put it inside the vac seal, and then I'll put it in the freezer to freeze it. If I'm not, you can eat it there and then if you want to, but just you freeze the rest of it, and when you bring it out, it's already tenderized, and pat down the excess protein on top of it and cook it away. It's bloody sensational.
Could you put it in the fridge, Franco, and just leave it in there for 7 to 10 days?
Yeah, do that. Do that. If you're at camp and you want to leave it there for 7 to 10 days, you do that. Or if you're able to shoot it and get it home the next day, then just by all means cut it all up, put it inside a bag, and then a cryovac bag, and put it inside the fridge for 7 to 10 days, and then eat it like that if you like. Just helps it really tenderize up and makes it real nice and soft, and it's really good because you take it out of the fridge, bring it up to room temperature, then put a bit of salt on there, and you cook it in your pan with a bit of butter and a bit of garlic and onion and whatever else you want to put in there. Some mushrooms. Tastes pretty bloody good. That's how to get nice and soft.
You cleaned up and you got heaps of venison, don't you?
I was very lucky. I was donated a heap of venison when I went away, so I've got my freezer's full, and I've got 2 other freezers at the fire brigade shed. Freezer's full, and so is my mate down the road. He's got a full freezer, so It was good. I went to the local butcher last week and gave him 10 kilos of mince, and he put it through as his last run of the day and mixed it with some lamb fat. And I made some lamb kofta with it last night, and it was bloody good, really good. It's got a kofta spice mix from the shops there, and just mixed it in with that, and I made, I don't know, 12 koftas out of it, and 12 like long stick koftas, and the kids absolutely loved it. Had a bit of garlic sauce and spinach on some flatbread. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It was really good.
And you're looking drained there, mate. Very tired and fatigued looking. Pup's keeping you up.
Yeah, no, it's been tiring with the pups because there's 10 of them, and I want to make sure that Joan keeps, putting condition on. So I'm doing a bit of supplementary feeding. So just keeping their tummy full, and they're they're 2 weeks old today, and they're just cusping a kilo each. So they've done really well.
I can see you there with a whiteboard right now, and there's 10 pups sitting in a line, and you're pointing, saying, "This is a bin chicken, and this is a swan," just so you can show the owners what exactly they're looking at.
Well, they've just opened their eyes, so they're probably just as blind as me. Yes, most probably.
People are like, look at this thing.
So, yeah.
Mate, I can't wait. I can't wait to get this bloody pup. I'm so pumped.
On bin chickens. I've got a rule in the mornings driving to school with my kids. So I get to listen to podcasts until they spot a bin chicken, and then they get their music. And I tell you what, they spot them from everywhere and do not miss a thing. And there's yelling and pointing, bin chicken, and then they say Uncle Frankie.
Well, I can't identify them, so yes, I reckon they wouldn't be able to do it for sure. I find it very hard to beat them.
So you weren't here before, Frankie. We were talking about it, but you're a fan favourite. And I've had people reaching out for your Instagram handle so they can give you a follow. And now look at you go, mate, climbing the ranks. You're decked out in 7 Seas apparel, got the sponsor. You're doing better than me. And then, mate, the rumour is you have a tattoo of your sponsor on your butt cheek. Is this true?
No, I don't have any pup stickers. I don't need them.
So you haven't been branded?
No, I have not been branded, mate. No, don't need to be branded.
Killing it at the moment, mate. Fan favourite, got the sponsor, breeding dogs. Is there anything you can't do?
Shoot his own yard deer.
The big question is, boys, Samba Camp, are we doing it or not?
Yeah, I'm keen.
Yeah, you betcha.
I'm in.
Why not? Bring them to the circus.
Bring the circus? Is that what you
Bring
said?
them to the circus, mate. Get them in there. Live act 24/7. Get them in there.
Jeez, it wasn't that bad. Is there anyone we need to bring then?
So we just need just a certain criteria with recovery vehicles, and anyone who's a doctor or nurse, that'll be probably a positive as well. So just good. Yeah, I reckon that'd be a top idea. Whatever we can do to boost the safety of the next camp would be be great. My life insurance has gone way up since the last snow camp episode came out. So yeah.
If you ever let Frank track or go down any sort of route and says, I think we should go down here, boys, this looks promising, go the opposite direction to wherever Frank says to go. Make sure you have a chainsaw, first aid kit, and a lifeline, because guaranteed you're going to end up in shit.
In saying that, you've got to give things a go. I mean, you were worried about the tracks I was taking you down, and I thought they were quite mellow.
Look, after 3 days of nothing, I was promised the world at that point. And look, you did put us, guaranteed that we did see the deer. There's no denying that. I felt like Frank was with us for that moment. And I was like, I was thoroughly enjoying my trip without him. And look, given the fact that at that point, we were just tired and delirious, and, we'd had enough. Frodo, you went over, Matt, you went over this rock. And instead of Frodo's got this lifted, mean Ford Ranger, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going over that rock." So he's going to go around it, and to go around it, you had to go up this mound. And I've looked down at him, and I'm looking down at him. I'm in his passenger seat, and I can see the floor of the road. And I'm like, "Mate, I think you've taken this angle a bit articulated, don't you think?" And he's looking up at me going, "Yeah, I think I might reverse." So before we even got to that 450-metre reverse, I think we're going to roll this thing.
Just like my camper trailer.
Hey, it was a bit of fun. You know, I thought, why not? We'll have a little bit of fun here. Matt's probably wondering what the bloody hell we're doing, and then you and I just, you know, on a nice angle, pissing ourselves laughing, looking at each other. So it was a good fun. It was a good laugh. I think we were hallucinating a little bit that day. And Matt, you said about safety. If Frank comes along, we're going to be safe. Because anyone that looks over our camp and sees him there, they ain't walking over near us.
I don't know. He's a dead set shadow of his former self.
Hey, he's just got a bit more definition now, so he's still a big man, just a bit more definition.
What have we got tentative dates yet?
Let me work on them and get back to you on that.
Hey Rob, even if it's time pressing and you can fly down, I'm definitely happy to pick you up. And,
yeah, for sure.
There's obviously a spare firearm, so no problems there.
Mate, I'll just bring the recurve down.
Ooh.
Oh, recurve Samba, man. A man amongst men you would be, for sure.
That actually might
For
be
sure.
timed well. If you do drive down, you might be timed well that you take your dog home with you.
Oh, no, I'll have a...
No,
yeah,
a
actually, that'd be close.
special trip
Yeah.
up north for that. Don't
No,
worry
the
about that.
price included delivery from Frank.
Did.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you still got one to sell? It's the best deal ever.
What you're saying is Frank's trying to get someone else to take the dog up for him. He'd be like, hey, mate, I heard you're going up there soon, aren't you? Can you go past my mate's house? It's only 5 kilometres from where you're going. Yeah, it's 5.5 hours away. I'll tell you this story. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Frank rings me one day. He's like, hey, mate, how you going? He goes, hey, listen, there's this burley bucket I found on Marketplace for $10. I was like, oh, that's good. That's a pretty good price for a burley bucket. He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, when are you getting it? He's like, yeah, look, it's only around the corner, like literally the next street from where you are. He said, I was like, oh, okay. I said, I'm in Eldersley, and he's like, yeah. He goes, you reckon you pick it up for me? I was like, no worries. Is it all paid for and stuff? He's like, yeah, you'll have to pay the bloke too. I was like, I've got to pick it up and I've got to pay for it. So then he rings me back half an hour later. He's like, hey, mate, yeah, the bloke's waiting there for you. He goes, yeah. I said, well, I've got to go to work soon, mate. Like, where's his address? And he goes, yeah, I'm getting it. And he messages it to me. He goes, yeah, he's in Ellis Lane, not in Eldersley. I was like, oh, so he's 20 minutes further away. So I had to drive 20 minutes out of my way, pick up this $10 burley bucket, and then the bloke tries to sell me a fishing rod while I'm there. And I said, mate, no offense, I don't even want to be here for the fucking burley bucket. Anyways, and that burley bucket stayed at home with me for 6 weeks. And then I had to drive it 4 hours. This $10 burley bucket, I spent over $100 in fuel to drop it off for Frank. Have you used the bastard yet, Frank?
Is that the one that got swept away?
Tell me it is.
That was the one he put up against the rocks when we were shark fishing.
Yeah. It was a live bait tank is what that was, matey. So if you went fishing a bit more, you'd know what that is, Mr. Sea-Doo man. The next thing is not only do you dribble shit out of your ass, but out of your mouth as well, because everyone could have seen that Ellerslie to what Ellis Lane is probably 10, 15-minute drive. It's not much at all, mate. So
You seem to have your finger in all the pies. I think you've actually got more fingers than a rented out bowling ball, let me tell you.
yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Family Feud.
You wanted the Timu version, you got it. There it is, Matt. And one hit, there it is there. Well done.
He at least comes to my camps.
Just remember, you're the one that invited me to the camps. And listen, I've been to more.
I didn't invite you anywhere, mate. It wasn't me. It was actually Frodo who invited you. I didn't want nothing to do with you.
I don't know if you know, but your so-called best mate, Matt, I've been to more camps of his than you have. That's a true story.
That's true. That's a very good point you make there, Tony.
Extremely good point you made there, Anthony. Extremely good point.
I think I'll start wearing the Australian Hunting and Beyond apparel. One, I'd look way better in it. Way better looking.
Most definitely.
I've upgraded.
Brotherly love,
Poor
sorry.
old Frankie.
I would like to see maybe Rob can show you how to drop a pin, Anthony, so that way you know where to go to find your buck when you shoot it next time, matey.
Mate, you know what? I honestly appreciate Rob's maps. It was so handy to track back and forth. Somehow I could zoom it open and it'd bring me into Rob's maps from the Avenza maps, like from the DPI maps. It was crazy how my phone did it. But anyways, yeah, I know you're taking the piss out of me, mate. I couldn't give a shit. I got crocodile skin. When you grow up as your younger brother, what do you think's going to happen? I got crocodile skin. Don't worry about it.
Look, once again, you always think it's about you. I was actually asking Frodo. That's what I was talking to Frodo.
Say Frodo then, mate.
Because he shot the buck, and I just wanted to know why he didn't drop a pin. So when he went back to retrieve it, the full 30 meters or whatever.
Oh no, I dropped a pin, but In fairness, a lot of people were having issues with the Avenza maps. Even Rob, the man himself, was having issues.
He dropped the pin, and his heart rate was going that much that it put his internal compass of his phone out. That's why he done circles.
So he put out 30 pins on the same spot and was trying to push it once. He put it for 30 times with the shaking.
Can say the pin was dropped and it was accurate. There was nothing wrong with the Venza or the phone. He just couldn't find it.
I tried to help you, mate. Sorry about that.
That's the last time I get you to track it near, Matt.
In fairness, it would be extremely hard to read that map on that phone that was being shaken like it was a earthquake 10.0 on the Richter scale.
There you go. He done well there. He done well. Do you have any hope at all? You had any hope?
Oh, shit.
Unbelievable. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you just got on, though.
You know what? And just like going back to it, and I was telling this to Frank, and I think I said it to you as well, Matt. When I first noticed him at the corner of my eye, he did not make a sound. Not a stick, not a leaf, nothing. Like, it was nothing. Obviously he's learnt to move silently. Like, I know you said your buck, you heard it come crashing through and you thought it was another hunter. But this guy, not a sound. Like, nothing at all. Yeah, it was almost like it was just on mute. Like that, and being as close as he was, I would have thought, and what I was walking through, there was plenty of sticks and debris and stuff on the ground. So he's obviously had experience walking through that stuff without making any noise. It was just his unlucky day, I think, that day.
Oh, so I think he was blind and deaf. When I rocked up, his eyes were glazed over. For you to fiddle around with your rifle and for it to stand there, it was either blind and deaf, or it was one of Santa's reindeer and said, "Hey, I know you from the North Pole."
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Give him credit. They can do some dumb things, especially in the rut. They can be dumb.
I reckon it's because of, and I said this in the last one, because, yes, I'm vertically challenged, and the grass was quite high, and where I was standing, and there was not a breath of wind, I just don't think he could make out what I was. I don't think he could work it out. And that's why he stood there so long staring, because I think he was wondering, what is that? Where's the legs on this thing?
He was sizing you up, mate. It's the rut.
It could have been, yeah. Maybe I could take
when
this
we
thing.
When we were at camp, James, I seen Anthony. He was browsing the kids section of the Blackfoot designs, and I was like, "Is that for your kids?" And he said, "No, that's for me." I thought, "Oh, you're in the right section." Then.
I was like, true story.
Unbelievable.
Well, I've hit new lows here, boys. The wife is starting to serve me tofu.
Oh,
what?
I don't know what's going on.
Better nip that in the bud, mate.
Look, I've come home with 2 deer, plenty of venison, and I'm getting tofu.
Did she sabotage the camper?
Maybe. No, she likes camping.
Okay.
She tried to pretty up with some coating or some crap, and I'll tell you what, it was the worst cardboard I'd ever eaten in my life. And I know Frank's over there on the phone, and he's probably messaging already because they're little, buddies. He's dobbing me in. And she actually asked, they're sourdough buddies now. She actually asked, how's the sourdough going, Frankie?
Yeah, so you can tell it's about 4 times the volume it was when she gave it to me. And that's on the agenda this weekend. Me and the kids are going to make sourdough in the oven this weekend, so they're very excited about that. I've just been a little bit preoccupied with the pups, but we're going to have a free chance this weekend, so that'll be good.
Okay, between you and I, if she asks, do you want her tofu recipe, run.
I asked for Matt's favourite tofu recipe.
No, don't call it that. I tried to sneak it out. She asked me to put it in the freezer. I tried to give it to the dogs, and they wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah, sure you did, soy boy.
Soy boy. There's a new nickname for the chat group.
Don't call me soy boy when you've got that moustache and you're wrapping yourself in a raccoon skin.
How awesome is that coon skin? Did you guys get to see that earlier?
He pulled it out earlier, didn't realise we were recording, and was prancing about with it.
Wrapped around my neck. I'm like, oh, you guys should feel this. It's so luxurious.
He gave us a show.
It really is.
Like,
it really is luxurious.
Tell the listeners what you're describing. I'm like, oh, are we on? I've got this raccoon skin wrapped around my neck. I'll tell you what, it's bloody good. I'm going to get some more. I'm going to make some raccoon skin hats.
Yeah, I was going to say, could you make a hat out of one, do you reckon?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm the guy
I'd love to
do
get
it.
Frodo one. I would love to get Frodo a raccoon's skin hat.
He doesn't need one. Look at his hair.
Yeah, but matches, it's camouflages in with it. Like, it's already half there. He just needs the tail to go with it. It'd be great.
Mate, if I get one of those hats, I'll wear it to the next trip.
100%.
If Frodo just grew a mullet, he wouldn't need it. It would look like one anyway.
You know, he reminds me a bit of Pepe Le Pew there, doesn't he?
Oh, no.
Hey, you've been
Change
talking
his
to my
name from
wife
Frodo
too
to
much.
Pepe, will you?
Oh, Pepe Le Pew.
Is that what she calls you too?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Pepe Le Pew.
Well, what's next, boys? Who's got something planned to get out? Obviously, all my plans have gone absolutely sideways with the camper going, so I have no idea when I'm getting out, hopefully before snow camp, but it doesn't look great at this stage. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, I've got. I'm going to take me 5-year-old boy out for a little trip out to a little property I got. That's the one I was saying that I hunted the adjoining forest there, and yeah, just a bit of small game hunting. It'll be 3 generations, so I'll have my little fella, myself obviously, and my old man's coming out.
Oh, that's cool.
That's actually 4 generations on that property because my granddad used to hunt it too.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
So yeah, it'll be good to get out and just do it's a solo trip. I promised him for his birthday, which is August last year. So it's well overdue, but he's a bit old now anyway. He'll enjoy it even more. So he's nearly 6 or 5.5. And yeah, so we'll get out and do a couple of nights out there. Just obviously it won't be a real serious hunting trip. It'll be a bit more just get him around the campfire and we'll go do a bit of trout fishing. We'll see if we can shoot some rabbits and some foxes and we'll go and I think they've had a bit of rain out there now, so we'll go in the forest, in the pines and see if we can collect some mushrooms, some saffron milk caps and yeah, it should just be a good little trip to get away and yeah, good time with Granddad as well.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
So that's this weekend. Weather provided and all that. So yeah, we're going to do it in the school holidays, but the weather was a bit so and yeah, a couple of things going on, so we just postponed it. Like my old man's retired now, so he can sort of go whenever. So yeah, we're going to try for this weekend, and hopefully we'll get out there and do that, and yeah, make some good memories more than anything.
For sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Rob?
In a couple of weeks, going to head down to a state forest a bit closer to Queensland, and I know there's goats there. It's not Severn. Everyone thinks it's Severn when you say goats. But I've had some nice little inside info sent to me. There's been a couple of deer taken there. And in the hunt reports, it doesn't look that good over time. But had a bit of bushfire through there a few years ago, so don't know if that's had anything to do with it, with the regrowth or whatever, but I'm going to go check that out. At the very least, it'd be good to just knock over a couple of goats and I'll probably just mince them up and have them in the freezer for food for the new pup when it gets here.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, but otherwise it'd just be a real quick weekend run and probably just spend one night down there and see how I go.
Frankie?
No, I got a buffalo hunt coming up at the end of the year, which I'm looking forward to. And I'm sure there'll be a couple other hunts in there. Don't know where yet, but I'm sure there'll be a couple more hunts coming up. I'm sure we'll talk to Frodo about it and go from there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to organise one. Get the ferrets and get the shotguns and maybe go and give the rabbits a bit of hell for a day. That would be
That sounds
fun.
good. The kids would love that too.
Yeah, haven't done that for a while, so I've got a new contact for some ferrets now, so yeah. I'll hit him up and maybe try and tee that up before snow camp.
That'd be awesome.
Rob was telling us about his little adventure to the Fad. You should touch more on that because that's a pretty awesome story. And I just to fathom that you were out off the Fad in 65 meters deep water by yourself, and you tied yourself to your jet ski. You took your spear gun. Like there is some monster sharks out there. You absolutely have balls of steel, mate.
Is this something that Rob's wife could be listening to right now? We're just digging in the grave.
Oh, yeah, we spoke about it last time I was on. But,
that's what I heard.
well, the water generally clears up a bit up here over the winter months compared to summer. Hopefully we'll get a bit less rain and the rivers aren't just washing crap out, inshore. So yeah, hopefully I'll end up getting a bit of spearing done in the next few months as well. Even though it's winter, it's not really winter in the water up here. It's still probably 21, 22 degrees on a cold day or on a cold water day. So get in a bit of that as well.
We've got to make a trip up there and come out with you for sure.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, I'm still yet to even get any good fish. Just fishing with line off the jet ski. So still haven't got a mackerel. Still got a few things I want to target in the next 12 months.
Actually, it'd be a good change of scenery if we should all go down and stay down where Frank is and go do some fishing down there.
No, that'd be awesome, eh?
Be like
super keen to do a bit of shark fishing.
Be like fish camp or something.
Shark camp.
It was worse than snow camp, boys.
But you know what, Matt? At least now, if he doesn't get you onto the shark, you can rip into him.
Look, I don't know if my bank balance can afford another shark trip with Frank. I mean, the last time we did that, we lost a drone and didn't even. Let's not even talk about how much tackle went missing.
A very good point. Very, very good point. Very good point.
It's because he didn't have his German Short Haired Dolphin with him.
My gosh. Where do you come up with this stuff?
This sounds like when me and my brothers get on the piss with my old man. We're just hanging shit on each other and just random shit like that. Like,
we're sober, James. We're sober. So, Rob, what's the plan with your pup? Are you going to train it up to be a pointer and sniff around, or?
Yeah. So I'm doing the old Paul Michaels blueprint, which Frank is providing with all the pups that he sells. It comes as part of the package, so I'll do that. I'm going to be try and be fairly rigid with it, but there's a few things I'll do slightly differently just to, let the wife and kids have something to do with the pup. If you're too hard line, it'd just be a bit hard on the family, but I'll stick to that blueprint. Probably be a good minimum 12, probably closer to 18 months, I think, before I take it out. Apparently the GSPs mature a little bit slower, so they say. Obviously every pup's different, so we'll just see what happens.
And I know we take the piss out of Frank, but she is a gorgeous dog, and I had to laugh. Last time me and Anthony went down to see Frank, we stayed down there for a weekend with the kids. It was a really good time, and Anthony was there with his wife. I was there with my partner, Zena, and one morning Frank went out to get us all coffee, I remember, and I went out the front on his porch there, and I seen Joan just near the road. I said I was like, hey, where's Joan? She goes, she'll be out the back. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, she's just here. And I mimicked Frank's special whistle that he does, and it was a half-assed job, but I've never seen a dog run as quick as she did. By the time she went to look out the back, she's like, no, she's here, standing at the back door. But, she's a little wanderer there, Frankie.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I've always liked the idea of having a deer dog, but I think if I hadn't seen Joan in the flesh and how good she is, I don't think I would have made the decision to get one yet. But once I'd seen her back at camp last year, and then Frank told me she had a litter coming, I was pretty much locked in. So good to see him work. And even just they're just a pleasant dog to have around, even when they're not hunting, you know what I mean? Just so bloody well behaved and awesome.
On one of our camping trips, Frank brought a bit of deer skin with him, and he threw it up in this tree, and he was showing us all how she worked, and it was actually pretty good to watch, just seeing her instincts working and, the training that she'd done and listening to Frank and then, looking to when he wanted her to do her next action. And then sure enough, she pointed all the way to this deer skin in the tree. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. I think even just having, it'd be awesome obviously to go stalking, and I do prefer stalking when I hunt compared to, sit and wait. I do mix it up a bit now and find obviously probably had a bit of a better success rate since I've started doing both. But for those afternoons where you're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours watching one spot, I think it'd be so good to just have your dog sitting there beside you rather than sitting on your own all that time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like I'm going to be talking to the bloody dog, but it's just nice to have the company, and obviously they'll still be working while you're there. They'll still be on the scent.
Yeah, no, definitely. Most definitely. And just to go back, there's nothing wrong with the kids and the wife having some time with the dog too, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that question and answer number 3, I think I sent it to you. I mentioned it to you that Paul Michaels spoke about it in his podcast, and he was saying he made the blueprint, and it can be sort of flexible. He just makes sure that you keep going on the guiding principles that he's done, and you'll get a good dog out of it. And I know you'll do well with yours, Rob. I know you're very fixated, and you've got a good vision, and I reckon you're going to go great with it. So you have to watch that space for sure. But no, it's good. She's good. She's a good girl. She just needs to get out more, I think.
It's a funny thing, Matt. I went to Anthony's the other day because, he was saying, Rob's getting a dog and Frank's, got the pups. And now he said, I'm going a different route. He said he was going to get himself a horse and he was going to hunt he was going to hunt from the horse. And I went to his house the other day and he's telling me he's got this Clydesdale. There's 2 Shetland ponies in his paddock. He's going to ride a Clydesdale, he said.
Well, let me just tell you, one of those Shetland ponies is getting real close to being target practice. If she rubs her ass on my fence one more time.
Yeah, you said that at snow camp, mate. Come on.
Oh, mate. I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you bring her down to snow camp and let her out with the Brumbies? It's a win-win.
Oh, mate, absolutely. Yeah, that one you can shoot.
Did anyone see that the other day in the State Forest page on Facebook where there was a Shetland pony in the forest, a little black and white one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. The little black and white is this tiny little Shetland pony on a trail someone ran into in the state forest while they were hunting. They're like, what kind of thing is this? Yeah.
Mate.
That's funny, yeah.
I reckon that was someone that was in my position. And in the middle of the night, loaded it up and took it out there and said to the kids, I don't know, it ran away. Dropped it off and said, see you later. The forest can have you now.
Mate, in fairness, you have been trying to get a fallow on your property, and if a Shetland pony happens to walk in front of the fallow deer when you're pulling the trigger, these things happen.
Oh, well, it's just fate.
I'll obviously explain that to your wife. That was fate, definitely.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, look, pony free to good home if anyone wants one.
Nah, I'm good, bro. You can have it.
Matt, I think your kids would love it.
They would.
Absolutely no chance, mate. I'm having issues here. Okay, I've got 2 dogs and the German Shepherd, fantastic guard dog. However, having obsessed with birds, and mate, I'm doing everything I can. We've just set up the chicken coop and got a heap new setup, and they're more free range, and we've got fencing, and they've got the border fence, so they can't go in certain areas. Mate, she doesn't care when it comes to birds, so got into the chicken coop, and look, needless to say, I'm in the bad books at the moment because my dog may or may not have taken out a couple of chickens, and one seemed to escape, so who knows where the hell that went. But I'm not in the good book, so highly doubt a Shetland pony is a good call at the moment.
Sounds like you got a problem with all breed of birds, Matt. What was that other little pet you had?
Quailey, wasn't it?
What was it? Quailey. Oh, Quailey.
Well, Quailey's gone. He's been gone for a while. R.I.P.
How did it go? What birds can fly?
No, I mean, look, okay. I know birds can fly, mate. I didn't know all quails could fly. I didn't know any quail could fly, to be honest. I'd never really looked into that side of things. I just thought they were running around again. Every time I saw them as a kid at the markets, they were just on the ground and none of them could fly. So I just thought that was the case, all right? So, yes, I stuffed up.
And where did you get these quails from, Matt?
Frankie got them for me.
Yeah, well, there's the first problem. And you had one that survived out of how many?
Oh, look, I can't remember the exact number.
Literally gave him $1,000 worth of quail, and he released them like a bunch of pigeons at a wedding, and out they went.
You see what I mean, Matt? He's tracking the pricing here.
The quail fly. Of course they fly,
$1,000
Matt.
worth
They're
of quail.
quail.
$1,000 worth of quail. You could at least drive Rob's pup up to him, don't you think? Come on, mate.
Look, he set me up for failure. Look at what's going on with these dogs. He's got all these things he's given away with them, training programs, group support, like all this. Mate, he gave me a box. It wasn't even that big a box, so I didn't even realise how many were in there. No instructions, no anything, no hint, tip. Hey, mate, these things fly. Absolutely nothing. The only thing he said to me, I think he said they were like Bob White. You know,
ready to
what's
go.
that mean to me?
Ready
Bob
to
White,
go.
Bob Hawke. It's all the bloody same. I thought they were just birds that walked around a friggin' aviary. Okay, yes, I was wrong. It was like a wedding. I'm not going to lie. It was it was pretty bloody funny. But he set me up for sure.
Absolutely. I think false advertising. He set you up. He sold you flightless quails.
They flew away that quick. They could have been eagles. And with his track record for birds, who knows?
He sold you midget racing pigeons. He got them at a good price.
Look, I will say this. The only thing that was missing when I opened that cardboard box and those little critters just got out of there as quickly as they could was like a bang and confetti and something like that. But yes, look, it was my stuff up. I'm not having a great run with the birds, I will say that.
Well, Matt, try your hand at a pony. I've got one you can have.
For free.
They don't fly.
I'll even deliver it.
Just do it anyway, Anthony. Just do it anyway.
I'll do-
You won't be able to catch it anyway. You just do it.
Mate, you bring that over and two things are going to happen. It's going straight up on the lift and lock and then going into the freezer.
Matt, whatever you do when I drive away is your business. I don't care.
Driveway warranty. As soon as he drives off,
That's
warranty's
it.
done.
That's it.
Done.
Seriously, though, if you do need some vermin control at your place, I'm happy to come over and misidentify a Shetland pony in the thermal.
So you're going to feel like you're going to be roughing it at the next camp, Matt, when you're sleeping on the floor when you swag? Or?
All right, I'm a little concerned here. So I haven't told you boys this, but so I haven't even got my swag at the moment because I gave it to my brother to use, and I'm very nervous about this because when I do give him things, sometimes they don't come back at all, and other times they come back in a very, very different condition than when I gave it to him.
That sounds very familiar, that does, and he knew it was coming. It fucking sounds familiar, I'm telling you.
He actually gets on really well with Frank, probably better than I do, actually.
I'm starting to think that me and you were supposed to be the best mates, Matt. And,
Switch it up. He can have my brother too.
yeah, you can have mine, don't worry.
As in every family, some of us get the brains and some of us, are you two. So,
Get the looks.
what happened.
Get the looks.
You too, eh?
I'm sure your brother would agree with me. I'm sure. Just ask him. Ring him up and ask him. I'm sure he'd agree with me.
He would for sure. And you know what? He is as good a fisherman as you are too, Frank. He's up at Queensland at the moment, and in 3 weeks he's got bugger all fishing.
Hey, Frank, you should tell the boys the cracker about Canberra Carpathon, me and you. Tell them the story, Frank.
Which one?
Me and Frank went on a fishing adventure down because at Canberra in Lake Burley Griffin there they got like this little a challenge there, and you pay for your entry, and it's basically so they can sustain inside the river system there in the lake, and the money they get from it they put cod and stuff in there to try and get rid of, because the cod when they get bigger they eat the carp and stuff, so it's a good little thing. Anyway, long story short, Frank. Remember, you wanted me to throw some burley out, and me and Frank.
We know about your burley after the Sea-Doo story.
Yeah. Look, everything turns to shit when we talk about burley, but Frank was on the phone with his neighbour Nigel. God love Nigel, poor bastard. That day, he so what we're doing. Frank had a few tins of cream corn, and that's how we were burleying in the carp. Anyway, so cream corn, it's all sloppy and mashy inside the tin, and I said to Frank. I said, you just want me to throw it out? He's like, yeah, just do like a semicircle, just throw it out there. I was like, yeah, no dramas. So Frank's on the phone with his mate Nigel there, and
Rob
he
knows where this is going.
oh yeah, he was having a good old yarn, and then I was like, all right, 180, are you sure? He's like, yeah, mate, just fucking get it out there. I was like, all right, no worries. So I've taken the lid off this can of cream corn, and I have absolutely swung this thing around like discus in the gold medal Olympics, and all you hear is splat, and it wasn't in the water. I look over, Frank's got cream corn dangling off his fucking glasses. It's all over his shirt, and all you hear him say, "You're an idiot." And then his mate Nigel said, "What was that?" Frank goes, "No, not you, Nigel. I'm talking about me dickhead brother." So, long story short, Frank got a good old creaming that day. Not the good type, anyway.
There is a pattern I'm definitely starting to see. Frankie's like my brother. He went out the other day and he had one of the cast nets, the circle ones that you throw out, goes on top and it drops straight over a ball of bait fish, and you pull it back up and it's closed in and has them. What he didn't even look at or realise is that the net was full of holes. So he cast it about 50 times before he realised it was full of holes and everything was just swimming out.
Hey, no, he's one for the listeners. Let me tell you right now. Me and Anthony, me and Frodo, and Frank, we were down at Penrith. Here it comes, Frank. I'm sorry, mate. We were down at Penrith, fresh water fishing. We're freshwater fishing. Anyway,
Who invited you?
Listen, I'm an honoured guest these days. I show up on time and I go to all the camps. Where are you at?
You're a sucker.
Just take your place. Take your place over there. Just take a step back for a second.
No, you can have the podium. Off you go.
No worries. So, me and Anthony, we decided,
Anthony and I. Learn your English. Anthony and I.
He's getting upset.
Only because he's got the pups there and he's teaching them everything at the moment. He wants to make sure they learn good English because they're German, see?
Listen up. Listen up. There's Shrinkter over here having a go. Listen to him.
Frodo and I were... we decided that there wasn't much biting where we were, and we're not sure if it was because Frank was making a lot of noise trudging around and making vibration in the water, scaring all the fish. So we've decided we're going to go cruise up the river a little bit, me and Anthony, and we probably went about 200 meters up from Frank, and we just threw the rod in, and in the distance you can just hear this faint help, help. And I look at Anthony. I was like, "You hear that?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I think that's Frank." So we reeled in and we run back like fast as we could, and we get there, and here is Frank holding on to the smallest twig. To Anthony, it was a gum tree, but the smallest twig for Frank, and he was up to his chest in this water, and I was like, "What has got a hold of him? We're in fresh water. There's no crocs down here. There's nothing, no alligators." And he's like, the mud's sucking me in. I was like, "What are you talking about?" If it wasn't for this little tree shrub holding Frank, he was going under and we're never going to see him again. It was the wildest thing you'd ever see. So we eventually pulled Frank out of the wreckage. And for the rest of the day, me and Anthony are pissing ourselves laughing because you look at Frank, he's sitting there, and we're not kidding. He's sitting there in his wife beater singlet and his undies while the rest of his clothes were hanging on a tree to dry.
Yes, I do remember that. That was a good trip. Good laughter.
How many more of my stories you got to put on there?
Was that the trip on the way back? Where you? I think I can't remember who was sitting in the back. It was either you or Frank, and one of you got hooked. Me. You got hooked in the arm with the lure.
Yeah, I got hooked in the arm with a lure because I had my arm around the back of the headrest. And I said, "Oh, pull over. I've got a lure in me thing." And they're both pissing themselves laughing. And as they pulled over, because as you know, on the side of a road, like it's very rugged, there was three consecutive potholes. And the more that they hit the potholes, the more it went into my arm. And they're both still there pissing themselves laughing. And my arm's pinned against the back of the car, and they're just having a laugh. So it's good to know that they're there to help you when you need it.
I tell you what, we've had some adventures. Jeez.
Well, boys, 100 episodes. Really want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. As listeners can probably tell, it's always a great laugh when we get together, and I can't wait for Samba Camp, which is coming up, and looking absolutely forward to getting around a fire, having a good laugh with you blokes, and I really appreciate you coming on and giving up some time and effort. And even Frank, you know, he's a bit of a star and he's got his sponsorship and things like that. So appreciate you slumming it with the likes of us, mate.
Hey, Matt, if you want to know that I'm the better brother, I actually took the night off work today. I spoke to Frank on the phone today. I said, I've taken the night off work because I needed to be here to ensure that my name wasn't thrown through the mud from him. So I've taken the night off work. Frank couldn't even make it here at 8 o'clock, just letting you know.
I know, and he was the one that booked the time and date too.
Everyone wanted to make sure they got in so they weren't slagged, not because I want to celebrate the 100th anniversary, but because they want to defend themselves. That's why they turned up.
And that's what makes us tough, man.
That sums it up. And I just want to thank Frank in particular for giving up his valuable time to make time for us and get here. We appreciate it, mate.
I appreciate that, Matt. Well, in all seriousness, well done. Congratulations on your 100th episode, mate.
Yeah,
you should
mate.
be very proud of
Well
that,
done.
and you should be.
Good job.
Yeah, you've carried a baton, and good on you for doing so, mate. So yeah, I've appreciated your podcast thus far. So well done.
Yeah. If you could bump it up to 2 eps a week, that'd be good. I'm doing a fair bit of driving, so come on, mate.
I'll tell you what, the wife to kill me, mate. I do want to make snow camp. So, boys, appreciate you coming on, and thanks for the kind words, and looking forward to hopefully another 100 more. So, yeah. All right, listeners, hope you've enjoyed it as I have immensely. Always a good laugh with these blokes. Bye for now. You've been listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt. Thanks for tuning in, and can't wait to catch you next time. But in the meantime, if you want more, you can find it at linktr.ee/Australian Hunting and Beyonds. That will give you our YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. We'll catch you next time.